final, last episode 5 of our Pathfinder 2E game of Thronebreaker. I am sad that it is ending, but excited to see where this campaign ends up. I have literally not written the ending because I have no clue what this amazing group of role players is going to do with what is to come. So before we get into tonight's sponsors, let's go ahead and reintroduce our cast. And go ahead and share what's been your favorite part of this campaign so far. We're going to start a little bit differently this time. We're going to go ahead and start with Brittany.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Brittany. My favorite part is it's hard because it's like there's so many good things, but I think the favorite one for me that hits me home is when y'all Aerel just broke down, cried, and just the angst y'all felt. I think that's my favorite one because y'all get to see me cry for the first time. So that has to be my favorite last week when I cried and Aerel cried.
It was so good. So good. So much emotion. Let's go over to Steve.
Hello. Boy, favorite parts. Probably the changes these characters have gone through. I don't think anyone is quite in the place they started off. And not just Rukhari, given his position, but Aerel, Altair, Pekka, Freya, all these folks have had to face some demons or their past. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when they all come back together.
I'm so excited for that. Yeah, it's definitely true. Like, nobody is kind of like where they started. Aerel's like developed into this more confident warrior. Rukhari is dealing with becoming maybe an emperor, maybe dead. It's all up in the air. Let's go over to Ashely.
Not to piggyback off of Rukhari here, but I have to go with the same. Just the character arcs that we've seen, even through this short session here. I mean, 5 episodes isn't much, but there's definitely been a lot of development across the board, a lot of change, and I think that's definitely my favorite part of this.
It's gonna be good. All right, you got anything other for us, Staffan?
I'm Staffan, playing Pekka Kylemakki, the purported cleric of the group. And it's difficult picking a favorite moment. There's just so many. I think I'll follow with the theme and just say that it's been real fun being buffeted and turned around and having to characterize on our feet as we've been pulled in all sorts of directions with the greater themes that have been coming out of Age of Ashes and seemingly directed straight at us, and getting that sort of cross-pollination working both for and against us.
Yeah, it's been so great to like bring in people from Age of Ashes, and then just this entire Tiensha, the world in Pathfinder is definitely sort of this open sandbox type place. So it's been fun to like create this world with you guys. Jen, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jen. Tonight I'll be playing Altair Basima. My favorite thing has just been kind of this recurring theme of found family and how those ties have been strengthened and grown and evolved. And yeah, I mean, again, I think my favorite thing about this group is how wonderfully collaborative and cohesively, like, everybody's stories have worked together. It's been wonderful role playing with all of you, and I look forward to future games.
Aww, it's gonna be good. I know, like, everyone, you guys all kind of have come from not having a clan to forming your own family, and having those bonds there. So I'm really super excited to see what you guys do when everyone comes back together, if everyone comes back together. It's gonna be great. So tonight's session is brought to you by Smiteworks. They are the builders of Fantasy Ground Unity that we've been trying to use throughout our campaign. I haven't been using it quite as great as our Sunday campaign. Make sure to check that out. Not this Sunday, we are taking a break, but the Sunday afterwards to see Fantasy Grounds being expertly used by Ian. Our Pathfinder campaigns are also sponsored by The Only Sheet. It's an Excel-powered character management tool for Pathfinder 1st and 2nd editions, as well as D&D 3.5 and 5th edition. Our music tonight, as you can hear right now, is by Michael Gelfi. We might have some little bits of Rock Narden thrown in there. You could find their links to the music in their show notes. Our videos post a week from when they air, put on YouTube by the wonderful Spence. But other than that, we're going to go ahead and get into tonight's game. We have a lot of ground to cover. Last when we left off, Rukhari had fallen to the ground, seemingly out of nowhere, just with you guys, with Pekka and Aerel around the campfire. You guys had been sharing stories, having a snack, and then just this searing pain had ripped through him. Pekka had rushed over to see what was the matter, to pull aside Rukhari's robe to find that this wound that Rukhari had received had never quite healed right. Little red around the edges with these black sort of trindles reaching out in all directions. And Pekka, with his medicine, had realized that Rukhari's heart was no longer beating. In a panic, go ahead and take away the scene, Pekka.
As Pekka has torn open Rukhari's robe and seeing the glimmer start to leave the large Tengu eyes staring back at him, he's going to immediately, using his medicine expertise, draw the conclusion that it looks like it's a poisoning wound. And without even thinking, he's going to cast a heightened detect poison just so that he can get an idea of what kind of poison is involved.
Yeah, as you're doing this, Aerel, what are your immediate thoughts? What are you doing right now as you see Pekka immediately get into that sort of medical role?
Aerel is panicking up a storm. Like, you literally see her eyes loading. She can't think. Her palms are sweaty. You almost literally hear her like hyperventilate a little bit. Like, please don't. And she's like, don't die. I can't. I lost someone a long time ago. We're not doing this again. We ain't doing this again. And like, she gently puts him in her lap to like, do not die, because if you do, I will literally come to another world and be whoever the hell got you. That's it. She's panicking. She's like making the rest that does not make sense.
Yeah,
Like-
you had just shared with him that your clan had sworn to protect him, to basically spend your life protecting them until your own life was gone, and to see him fading before your eyes is probably a difficult position for you to be in. Pekka, you deal with poisons. This is something that you know, almost your sort of expertise. And there is that slight scent, that sickly sweet smell that you recognize as the belladonna poison, the deadly nightshade. And you know that that is used in the war. You've seen it used. You know that the military uses that in order to, on their weapons, just to sort of, when they're planning an assassination. So you could only think that this probably happened at the library. But it's interesting how slow acting it was, since that was months ago, and why Rukhari hadn't shared this wound with you.
Aerel, get me my bag now!
Okay. She runs, gets his bag as fast as she can, and just gives it to him like, save him, please. Please, Pekka, save him.
And whilst, just as she comes back to him and he just reaches back almost blindly to grab it, and with his other hand bring out his leather-bound book full of leathery pages almost falling apart, he's muttering to himself, "O Seljet, if ever you have listened to me, do so now. It is not the time for this one to read the wheel. We both know this. By all that is good." And he will reach out and more or less simultaneously, but obviously game purposes there is an order to this, he's going to pump a neutralized poison into Rukhari and reach for his best vegetable poison antidote. Now, he may not have a specific ballad, the silver leaf or whatever is required for specifically against belladonna, hence the push of the neutralized poison. And then once those have set in, it's time for the battlefield medicine slash first aid, treat wound, treat death kind of scenarios to try to, as one of my other characters would have it, jump up and down his chest until he comes back to life.
Yeah, you just sort of, Aerel, seeing that desperation. Pekka, his movements rapid, grabbing things from his bag, curses every so often under his breath, mingled with prayer, and then just a slam of his fist against Rukhari's chest. Rukhari's whole body convulses. But we'll get back to that. We're going to go over to a much different scene. A peaceful mountaintop. Somewhere beyond time, someplace sort of set apart, with Altair and Freya having been reunited, being trained with Viz. It's calm here, but you know that it's time to return. This has called you guys to a tea room, and is slowly pouring very gracefully this tea into some cups, passing it to Altair, passing one to Freya. He looks at the two of you. I believe now you are ready for what is to come. But Altair, come. What do you think? Are these lessons something you wish to, I don't know, keep in your heart, keep in your mind, the attachment? Are you able to let go?
I think that the person that I was very different from the person that I am now. And to blindly go into what I think that she would have wanted or she would have done is, I believe, a disservice to her as it would be, as much as it would be to myself. I think that there are things and perspectives that she missed. And in learning from you and hearing of these things, and I believe that you sense it yourself, because I've always felt a hesitancy from you, even when I was your student and knew nothing of these. There was discord within your heart. I think that the path is incomplete, but I do wish to follow it and see where it goes. Because I think that the journey will be everything.
Just interesting to see who you have become now and who you are becoming. But I want you to remember something that you taught me, and I wish to share with you once more. So, as you just said, we are all blind until that we see that the plan for us is nothing worth making if it does not make the man, make the creature, make the woman, make the soul. You are to go out, and why are we building these glorious cities if man is unbuilt? We can't build this in vain, Altair, Basma, unless the builder grows. Take her and go grow. That's all I can give to you.
I feel like she would reach out and take his hand again and just sort of put one of hers on top. Master, you've already given me everything that I have needed and so much more that I wasn't even aware. And as much as you have dedicated your life to others, with what you have left, I wish that you enjoy it for yourself as well. Go with peace and go with honor. And then she would give him a very formal bow.
But she will actually return. in the same sort of formal way, this sort of mutual respect forming between the two of you. There is one thing I shall ask you, though.
Of course.
Should you see... And he stands, walking over to that painting that he had shown you months ago of that group. Various people faded that are no longer with them. He trails a light finger along it, pausing. Should you make it through this battle, again, I will not reveal your fate, but should you, join them in Sagarak. It will become clear soon, the path for you. I fear that much of it is already laid out before you. You just need to find your feet. And with that, he'll turn to Freya, who's been sitting quietly. Your mind is less troubled, child.
It is.
Do you feel ready for what is to come?
I feel as though I will always struggle with it. I feel ready.
It is good to remember that life itself is suffering. There will never be a living soul that does not suffer, that does not deal with something. Do not think that this will be easy, that it will get to a point where you're able to just overcome it. It will always be a struggle. If you were to think that you have overcome it completely, then you have lost the lesson.
I will be sure to remember that.
Good. Now, he stands, moving back over to the two of you, to an empty space in the wall. He takes his finger once more and draws a straight line down, parting the light paper that's there, and beyond you, you see a swirling, ethereal sort of portal open before your eyes. When you leave this place, you will not return. Freya, I will not see you again. At least in this life. Go now. There are those that need you.
May we meet again in the next.
Unlike Altair, Freya is much less formal with this. She will actually hug him and tell him thank you for everything.
He does not return the hug, but allows you this token of appreciation, of affection. But with a light pat on your head, he nods. Says, you are strong. Go, share that strength.
Then she'll tell Nightwing to go find our family. and she'll order a Nightwing through the portal.
Perfect. Back to our group. Pekka, you have been pounding away on Rukhari's chest just over and over again, trying to get him to draw in that breath. Aerel, what are you doing as he does this?
She's still panicking because that's all because she feels useless right now. And you hear her say this weird prayer to the Oni. She says, I know you can hear me. You've been in my family for God knows how long. I will do whatever it takes. I don't care what I have to do to pay you back. It's just, can you please bring Rukhari back? And she literally has tears in her eyes again. She's like, can you bring my brother back, please?
Pekka, another pound against his chest. What is going through your mind right now? It should have worked.
Has an oddly almost tunnel vision going on. He's just seeing Rukhari's beaked face grow almost larger and larger as he's narrowing his concentration, trying to understand what he's forgotten is his inner fear. There's a step missing, but he can't think of it. And without it, to the outside world, all you hear is the repetitive Ixien, Kaxien, Kolmien, Nelivisikusi, Ixien, Kaxien, Kolmien, Nelivisikusi, as he's rhythmically pounding. And then all of a sudden that interrupts as he tears out a page from his book and just almost punches it flat-handed to the top of Rukhari's forehead and casts in a restoration just to try to cleanse whatever is there blocking it. And under his breath, he's now also going, damn it, Rukhari. If you continue to die, I will kill you.
There's a moment of silence, and then a gasp as Rukhari's hand shoots up to grab your wrist.
Welcome back.
Remind me to give you 2 really fancy titles when I become emperor.
When Rukhari just come back before he says that, Aerel gives him a big, gigantic, teary hug. That's it. That's all she does. And she's literally crying.
I'm back.
They wish to be gentle.
Oh, Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Just that he's happy he's back, and I have to just to hug him because we almost lost. And then like she gets serious over that. We almost lost you. Like if you die ever again, I will be the first person to hurt you. I don't even care if you're an emperor or not.
I'll remember. I'll remember. Yeah. I was wondering about that, well, I guess old habits die hard. Was never much for seeing the medicine man. Old guy named Yabu, he'd charge a beacon of Talon for his services.
Off a short distance away, roll perception.
I think.
All of us?
All of you. Or at least you three.
Perception. Okay. I have perceptions. Crap, but alright. Perception it is, my dude.
Go ahead and tell me your numbers. Again, see grounds is being lame.
14.
22.
Split the difference, 19.
Perfect. Aerel, you're just sort of filled with adrenaline right now. Your blood just coursing through you. You are fairly certain you heard movement out in the forest, just beyond the light cast from your campfire. Footsteps, it sounds like to you.
Automatically hand on bastard sword, finger on like the hilts, ready to push it up, Virgil style, and I say, I don't think you want to come close. Show yourselves now, forever hold your peace.
There's silence for a moment. All you hear is the chirping of birds.
Of course we want to come close.
Yeah. So much bravado for one so young.
I dash into the campfire.
Around the campfire?
Or around the campfire, yes. I dash into the area, into the camp. And I hug Aerel.
If I hadn't already
leisurely...
died from fright, I'd die from the surprise.
Aerel's just gonna stun for a moment, still have tears in her eyes from Rukhari, and then she's like, Mama, and she hugs Freya as hard and tight as she could.
I was wondering when I see you guys again.
Reception. This is a far nicer reception than we were initially given. It sounds as if your journey has been eventful.
I will push away from Aerel a little, like checking her out to make sure she's okay, and checking everyone out to make sure they're good.
See? One piece, just like I promised.
She better be, especially after you were trying to chase an angel. What was up with that? Seriously.
Wait, what?
Chasing an
Yelling at an angel after he just burnt down a camp? Are you insane?
See what happened.
What definition are you using there? Because there are a couple that may apply.
I can explain that. This is mostly my. See, what happened was I saw smoke,
I
right?
know what
This will be
happened. I
good.
saw it.
I did not, so I would enjoy hearing the explanation because there are a great many words that she is using, and none of them are actually of substance yet. So this will be good. Please do not deny me this entertainment, my love. I deserve this. I've spent a very long time in a monastery meditating on the properties of rocks. I would like to hear this. You continue, please.
See, I saw this fire. I saw like smoke coming from the forest, right? And I said, okay, I know this is stupid, but I just want to see, what's at the fire to see if anybody need your help because, that's what we do. And I said, we could just do it for 5 minutes. Yeah, that 5 minutes turned into a what the unholy hell. All I saw was Mr. Salix like literally murdering giant. I couldn't speak. Then we met some of the soldiers. I kind of snapped at them a lot, a tiny bit, maybe a smidgen. I don't remember. It was all a blur, a very very weird blur. And I think we're about to go join them to attack, get a throne back. I think. And she turns to Rukhari like, "Did I get all that right?"
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we we found some of Pekka's old friends, and they confirmed what we were suspecting. And then we fought and killed a couple of them, but that's neither here nor there. When we were talking with some of Salix's personal guard, they told us of some of the difficulties they were having, because they only have like 5 thrones left. But they're way too well entrenched for even the rebellion to take care of. But only one has a half-decent claim. And once he dies, I'm the only game in town, as it were. That one domino falls, so will the rest.
Are you prepared to face your destiny?
God, no, but you know what? I haven't been for years and years, and yet it keeps happening, so I'll roll the knuckle bone dice on this one.
Altair would put a hand on his shoulder and sort of just like look at him. No one truly knows the path that lies before them. And the unknown, there's nothing scarier than the unknown. But so long as you face it with courage and kindness and all those beside you, you will find that there isn't anything to actually fear.
Oh, here's hoping.
Salix was a former student of my master, and from the sound of it, he has strayed from the path. But perhaps since the soldiers resonated with you, maybe we can guide them all back to where they should be.
Here's hoping. Ain't good with writing speeches, but I'm trying to work on something to maybe hype them up. It's going to be a hard day on everyone. By the way, anyone got needle and thread? My duds are kind of split open here.
I can simply fix that. I will cast a spell and it will be fixed. I cast prestidigitation on it.
Aerel, did I hear that
Yes.
correctly? That you stood up to an entire group of soldiers?
Yeah. They
So
were
Altair
talk.
would take her face in both of her hands, simply say, "Never been more proud of you," and then give her a hug.
Because she's not used to this, she's kind of stunned from it. She's like, and she hugs Altair back like, "Thank you. It was one time thing. Might not do it again."
Aerel,
Yeah.
it's not a one-time thing, because you did so standing up for your beliefs, for those you love, and the things you care for. And you are the kind of person who will do so again and often, because that courage and bravery has been within you this entire time, and it will not leave you.
You're right. It's not. It was just he just said some things that just got me to the point that I just snapped. So much.
Dude,
I wish
badass.
you were
He was
there to
about to
see
rip
it.
that guy a new one. It was awesome.
Well, I mean, I used to do it back home, so it was always a rare occasion.
All right.
Perfect.
So, what is it we need to do next? Other than sleep, I assume.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a night. By the way, these two, what is it, Aerel and Pekka? These two get fancy titles when I come Emperor, because they weren't late to the party.
My apologies, Your Majesty.
I'm getting more used to that, and that is so disturbing.
Or would you prefer your worship?
Oh God,
His
no!
Highness,
No.
your kingliness, Sir Emperor, the one who rests beneath the throne of the heavens. Really, it's about respect, and I want to ensure that I am giving all that I have to you.
Oh, it's
think
gonna be fun.
he's more of a mind of Mr. Oi, you.
Yeah, that works just fine. Imperial, oi, you!
Perfect.
I've
It
missed
was
all
a
of
long
you
night.
very much.
Our family is finally together. Happiness. You guys probably spend the night catching up until finally retiring. Before the Phoenix Guard had left, they had informed Rukhari, Aerel, and Pekka where to meet them on a certain day in order to ensure that they're there for the battle. And that day is now upon us as the dawn is breaking. Different camp, different place, different day as you guys have slowly moved towards this place. But you know that the plans are to siege the city today. Quickly, what is going through each of your characters' mind on a day where you know it is to be war, that the biggest battle any of you have ever seen, that you might not all make it out from? walking together down this road to where you know that they had told you to meet them was at?
Well, Rukhari is trying to he's trying to recall all the fancy words he's heard from the old haiku club way back in the day, though he doesn't sound like the Hick Emperor. Trying to think of how to sound inspiring and official, and focusing on not tripping over your own beak or in the mud.
It's great.
I think
Anyone else? Sorry. Go ahead.
when the day comes, Aerel wakes up and she turns to her bag, and you see her digging through until she pulls out something I've never seen her pull out before. Well, you have, but you haven't. She stares at the rock she got from the water. That's one thing she pulled out. Another thing she pulled out is the last piece of armor her clan leader wore for the last time. She stares at it for a while until she nods to herself. She gets up, she goes somewhere to get dressed, and she comes back wearing this elaborate piece of armor y'all have just never seen her wear before. She checks her armor, do a couple swings with her great sword, do a couple swings with her bastard sword, put them on the side of her, tidy up, and she, got her hair all slicked back and stuff, got it all tied back. She says a prayer to the Oni, and to the prayer to the white dragon. And after that, she gets up, takes a deep breath, and says, "All right, let's go topple the throne, I guess."
It's interesting, Altair Freya. It's been a while since you've seen Aerel, and this is a completely new side of her. Aerel, as you had rubbed that stone that you pulled out of the river not too long ago, it warms again in your hand, and that feeling of comfort just flows through you. Just a light sort of breeze caressing your skin, just simple and there. Not something that you're able to explain, but you feel that it'll be all right.
I feel like Altair would be watching this just quietly with Freya, and as Aerel walks off, she would look at her wife and just say, "It's remarkable how our children have grown into such incredible people. Whatever happens, I want to do everything I can to safeguard their destinies and yours."
And that is what we'll do together.
She would take Freya's hand and give it a kiss and be like, "Shall we go to seize the day then?"
I believe it is time. And Freya would be looking over things, kind of much like Altair, looking at the three people before her, the people that she considers her family, how much they had individually grown over the year, and realizing how much she missed them and how proud she is of each of them for what they have accomplished over this year.
Pekka, what about you?
Yeah, Pekka will start the morning, probably maybe even before most of the others are up, just in quiet contemplation, considering that it's a day of war, and war inevitably means that the innocent are going to be sacrificed for the greater good. And whilst that greater good is there for the innocents at large, that doesn't absolve those that will find a new spot on the wheel this day. However, by the end of the breakfast grouping around the campfire, he's going to stand up, open up his book, and start one of his interminable monologues. Today, we go to fight the greater enemy of good. Our allies may be suspect. Our allies may not have our views in mind. But we can all hope that they will still be our allies. And with that, I urge us all to fight the greatest fight of our lives. For today is indeed the day that we may look back upon in our dotage and turn to those in the pulpits and say, we were there. And since we will be there, it is up to us to find the greatest power within us to carry this day for all that is righteous, for the glory of the gods, and for the Emperor to be Rukhari. For Rukhari is indeed the name that will be, and I suspect that round about now, Freya has started throwing a cup of coffee at him. And he eventually sort of tones down, but it's as ever, his monologues tend to be about 3 times as long as they probably should be.
Excellent. Everyone's sort of stretching their arms. You politely listen to Pekka for a time, stretching your wings, getting ready. But it is time. It's time to go down the road to finish, to bring your country back to where it should be, to stop the senseless slaughter of innocents, to hopefully build something better, something more complete, where everyone can face the light of the sun with honor and dignity, as Rukhari hopes. So as you go down this winding road, the dirt sort of packed beneath your feet, a sea elf stands before you, one that you recognize. Smiling at Rukhari and the group. Been waiting for you, loves. I can't do it. That's great.
Do your best.
Been a while.
Vespa falls over and dies. Kidding.
Rude!
Yeah,
Rude!
I thought you were going to go full Tracer there for a second.
Oh God.
I should have.
Oh.
Man. Altair, you say that.
Oh god, now I feel put on the spot. So first of all, she would look at Rukhari, but she'd give a saucy wink to Aerel.
Her whole entire face just turned completely red at that.
It is
Whole
very
entire face.
obvious that Vesper's like, yep, still got it. Been waiting for you, love. It took you a bit longer than I expected.
I think she was talking to you. Or was she talking to me?
Rukhari.
Oh.
Aerel still
Yeah,
says
it's
that.
Yeah.
been a while.
Been a great while. And it seems like fate and fortune have brought us all together again. Hopefully, and she'd sort of side-eye Freya. Hopefully you got some things under control, and this operation will go a bit better than the last time.
I can either confirm or deny that. You'll have to ask Freya.
We'll be
Wow.
just fine.
I completely believe that. So, we got a lovely battalion for you to, do your thing with. And all of us are looking forward to what you're going to do with great progress and anticipation. Don't let us down, because otherwise we'll all be going to our gloriously bloody deaths, and no one wants that.
Behind her, just slowly off in the distance, you will see lines of soldiers waiting, looking to you.
She'd look at Rukhari again and then point at Aerel and be like, that one is far too young and pretty to die on the bloody field. So, do your best, okay?
I can assure you she is more than capable.
Oh, don't
We'll have to find out after this is all over, eh?
Yeah. Still gonna under
You know right there, are you?
I am fine. I'm not, but I'm okay. You know.
I'd say you're a bit more than fine.
I don't. You know you. This is hard. I'm just. Then I'm gonna ask your permission. May Aerel please walk up and kiss this woman? I don't want. I mean, she's your character. I want to make sure it's okay.
It is okay.
Okay. So Aerel takes a deep breath, walks over, gives her the fullest kiss, her first kiss now that she ever done, and say, you know what? If I get out of here, I'm gonna take you out on the date with food. Let's go dinner. And she walks back.
Promises, love. I'll be holding you to that.
Her ears, the tip of her ears was red now. Just the tip.
I've always marveled at that you can just press faces together. Like, Tengu can't really do that.
There are far more interesting things that Tengu can do.
Yeah.
For Pekka, you would notice that she has the 3 daggers of Callistria in a sort of circlet around her neck.
That fits.
I imagine once, this is all done, you'll be finding out quite a bit about the things you can do and not do, and so much more. Celebrate in style.
Fair enough.
And for right now, get your head out of your dicks and onto the battlefield. We got a war to win.
Guess I'll fish it out of the cloaca.
Whatever, I don't know how birds work.
Yeah, we don't really have those. Learning some biology.
With that, best friend leaves the battalion to the 5 of you, and they await your orders, Rukhari. You know that you need to take this last throne. You know that you have to break the city walls to get through, and lead them to Ducharg. But how are you going to get them to follow you?
He'll kind of crack his knuckles. A little prayer to Grandma Shizuru. It's like, please don't let me fuck this up. If I trip at the finish line now, they're going to be laughing at me for 1,000 years. Okay. It'll kind of walk up to whatever rise might be at least slightly elevated above the battalion. He'll kind of puff himself out, make the wings go a little high up, make himself look a little bit bigger and grander, and he's already a big Tengu. He goes, "Free warriors of this land, hear me now. This is not a day of crowns, titles, grandiose rulers. This is your day. Make no mistake, it is a red day. A day of clashing steel, wailing and gnashing of teeth. Aye, it will be a hard day. But beyond those walls lies something greater still. Hope. Not just for us, not just for your kin, but every soul in this land that will no longer fear chains simply due to happenstance of birth. Rise up, sons! Sons of this land! Of freed slaves! Rise up and take your fate!
A cheer goes up. Swords clanging, feet stomping at your words. Inspired. Someone that understands them, that has been them. They will follow you into battle. One moment. As you lead this army, by the time that you arrive in Ducharg, the battle has already been underway. You can smell the coppery scent of blood on the air, see the smoke rising in plumes above this great city. Hear the screams. Countless people dying by sword, by arrow, by magic. Doesn't actually matter how you die, just that you're dead. And you find yourself in the thick of it. Swords clashing around you, bodies falling. This battalion is strong that you're fighting with. Stronger than you thought, inspired by your speech. But we are going to go ahead and describe real quick, each of you, the way that you fight through this battle, fight through these streets where people have made their homes. And then we'll get to a battle. Sorry, I keep putting you guys on the spot for this.
Rukhari is doing his best to lead from the front. He doesn't want to be the one hiding behind the ranks of his soldiers. Swords out, and you notice now he's not doing as much of the two-handed stuff anymore. Going one-handed, and with his free hand, he's just shoving people around, making full use of his size to knock people down, to shove them away, especially if someone's trying to pile on to one soldiers, he'll just go get him off. Quick question, is Salix taking part in the battle?
You don't see him, but you hear whispers of him, of this angel with now black wings fighting, trying to get towards the main castle, right at the center of Duchard. Seems where they're all trying to get right now as you're fighting this uphill battle.
All right.
State.
All right.
But nothing that you've seen. Freya, it's been a while since you've seen a battle.
It has. And my last battle was not one I particularly care to remember. So at first, it is a little difficult, but I focus. I stay as close to my family as I can. I'm there more to protect and guide them. I use my magic to both provide shielding as well as conjuring creatures to help and assist them in fighting if need be from the first world, as well as I hasten their steps when they need it. And if I see any extreme violence involving civilians or anything like that, I am able to calm the emotions of the soldiers of our enemies to try to allow the civilians to get away. So I am definitely more of a passive member of this battle. I am not necessarily a fighter of it.
Rukhari, you also feel bolstered as you fight. Pekka having cast heroism on you. Freya casting guidance, which will give you a +1 to your rolls as well.
Okay.
exciting. Aerel, how are you handling this battle?
This would be Ariel's first war. So she basically goes to stone, tastes like the deepest breath after she kissed the seal. She's like, all right, check it out this time. She says this old prayer to the Oni. It says, gonna need your strength because it's a big old war and that throne got a big storm coming. And she pulls out her bastard sword first, and she is just swinging at him. She's swinging, using with one hand Ray of Frost, with the other after like training to get it accurately right. She's swinging, knocking people out, freezing when need be. And sometimes if there's someone with arrows, she'll pick it up and use the arrow because it's her first war. She wants to make sure she tries her best, and she's just trying to stay with her family and make sure and try to carve a path as much as she can.
And you are definitely able to. These on the outskirts of this city, these enemies are weak. They're nothing to the two of you. Simple, almost too easy as you guys in this battalion just slice your way through these cities. Pekka, what about you? These are your kin, people that you had fought beside years and years and years ago.
Pekka's somewhat in a quandary. He's now facing the troops, whilst not maybe the exact people, it's still the wider arc of a fighting force that he had once sworn fealty to. However, deep down he recognizes that his flock, be it this family, be it the innocents on the streets, is by far the greater need, and that mere feudal fealty means nothing in the scheme of the wheel and the bringing of a greater good. As such, a little bit like Freya, he's somewhat hanging back from the absolute front line, but sort of using it almost as a primary shield that's pushing forward where he can move into that space that's slightly more open behind. Once or twice through the push into the crowd, as Rukhari and Aerel are starting to be worn down, he's popping off his bigger area of effect heal spells, but he's excluding when he can opposition soldiery, especially if they're right at the front, so that we heal, they don't, kind of thing. But a good half of the time, when he's not engaged hand to hand with his big mace and shield, teaching people the error of his ways as he sees it, he's just coming to his full hobgoblin height and extorting both his family and the troops around him to keep faith and to keep the momentum going, to be that rallying point of the battalion morale.
Perfect. And you, Altair.
I feel like Altair, so first of all, like, she's not a stranger to brutal and bloody battle since, like, she spent some time basically working with a pirate crew for a while, so, like, boarding ships and doing that sort of thing, like, sieging villages. It doesn't, like, shock her the things that are happening because she's just developed that sort of, numbness or whatever. But, it's obvious it's not what she'd want to be doing, if that makes sense. But mostly I feel like since she's more mobile than the other two, she would be kind of acting like the shortstop between, picking off any creatures that manage to make their way through Aerel and Rukhari, or to try to flank them. And she'd be using her life sense to figure out, like, where, if anybody was trying to, like, snipe them from, the rooftops or whatever, to climb up and take them out.
Yeah, you definitely have to do that a couple times as people have climbed up to try and rain arrows down upon you guys. As you fight your way through the city, just felling enemy after enemy, becoming covered absolutely in blood. Can't even keep count anymore. You get closer to the castle and you feel the ground rumble. Something different. Round the bend in this corner, this great towering beast appears. Its maw dripping red and with saliva. As it falls, you notice as it touches the ground, a smoke arises from it. This sort of sizzling sound intermingled with it. Its eyes, this crazed orange color as it focuses on you. Pekka, you know that these fiends, these beasts are used in war efforts to just, they're kept starved, kept wanting until when they're just at that breaking point, at that point of death, they let them loose to go feed. Dangerous to use because they don't see friend or foe, they just see food. They'll take out anyone that stands in their way, and right now it is you five, as its eyes are sort of set on you. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh. This is fine.
Perfect.
24.
Freya. Excellent. So Altair, you were probably higher Rukhari leading from the front with Aerel by your side. Accurate?
Yeah.
How you would be arranged?
Yeah.
Yes. The creature, upon rounding the corner, immediately charges at the first thing it sees, and it just so happens to think that a bird looks particularly tasty right now as it charges at you with its maw just wide open, fangs dripping with that poison that you saw, and it will go at you. Let's see here. It is a hit as it swipes at you with its claw. Wounded, dealing 20 damage just straight across your chest. This great beast, just with all its weight behind it, going forward. It is now your... Oh. Sorry, it is now Rukhari's turn. You are muted. But it looked epic.
You're still muted.
I'm dumb. Okay, so yeah, so gets raked across the chest. Goes, I just had that repaired. So one, he's going to use an action point to rage, which I believe gives him 8 temporary hit points. And just in case, well, I probably will do some maneuvers here, but if it's applicable, he does have the Titan Wrestler feat, which allows him to disarm, grapple, shove, or trip creatures up to 2 sizes larger than him.
Is applicable. It is a large creature.
Okay, perfect. He's going to attempt to trip it.
All right. So that will be a... Go ahead and roll your athletics.
Can do. 32.
It falls. You are able to trip it. Go ahead and describe this.
So he kind of pulls a feint. He swings his sword offhand in just an obvious way where it would cause him, like right near the eyes, it would cause the creature to back off and wince. And the second those eyes are distracted, he goes in and just pulls the leg out from under the creature. It also takes 4 points of bludgeoning damage because of the new feat he has, Brutal Bully, I believe. Bludgeoning damage equal to his strength modifier.
Perfect. Got that in. Yes, it's just completely thrown off. Its weight isn't evenly distributed. Wasn't expecting you to be quite so fast as it falls back prone.
Okay, and then for the last thing, I will make a Katana Attack. Find the dang thing. There it is. Okay. $18.
Misses.
Darn.
Sadly, your blade just going a little wide, thrown off by that pain across your chest. You've had nicks so far, but this is your first big wound for this battle. Altair, go ahead.
Okay. Double check something. Alright, well that's weird. Okay, so I would like to leap over here to give Rukhari flanking. Do you want me to make an acrobatics check?
Go ahead, yes.
hero point that. So
Good idea.
yeah. Because that was not okay. All right, that's way better. So I assume I'm successfully able to get my parkour on.
Yes, you are.
Cool. Then I'm going to do some stabbing. Okay, 26.
Yes, it is a hit.
Okay. So then I do scimitar damage. Plus, what is it? 3d6 with precise strikes, so... let's see. If I roll them individually, can you add it?
Of course I can.
Okay. So 1,
I got some
2,
maths.
3. So that is another 6, 8. So 16 total for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hit it again. Or at least try to. Nope!
Critical miss.
Wow. Yeah.
Oof.
Hate to see it. Do I lose my weapon, or is it just incredibly embarrassing?
Let's see. No, yes. Just your hand is sort of slick with blood from the battles that you have had. Blade slipping right out of your hand as you swing it with just a little bit too much force.
Oh! Wait, I got a hero point.
Sure.
Thanks, chat. So can I re-roll it, Sam?
Yeah, even though I just awesomely described it. No, go ahead.
I mean, I won't. It's cool.
No, go. Use that.
Oh,
hero
God.
point.
Now I'm scared.
You can do
Roll
it.
it. Roll it. Roll
Alright,
it.
fine.
Roll it.
I mean, use your last hero point. Go ahead.
Oh, nice.
Hit.
I did it. It hit. Thank you. I assume that's a hit.
It is a hit.
Okay, cool. So that plus 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 9,
17.
17 more.
Got
That's my turn.
this.
Yeah.
Perfect. After we now have Pekka.
Pekka is going to hold up his holy symbol over his head, and with the exhortation of Selket, bring everybody to their right place on the wheel. Today is not the day. He's going to cast Bless, which will give, I believe, +1 to attacks to right now everybody apart from Altair, since it's only a 5 foot radius to start off with.
Excellent.
And then he will... yeah, that'll do him.
Perfect. Aerel, your turn.
I see this big ugly thing. I say, all right.
very
Alright,
ugly.
Holmes. I pull out, I drop my bastard sword. Do a hand like this, because my hand's probably hurting. I pull out the great sword. I say, alright, ugly, time to dance. I'm gonna see if this is gonna hit. Does a 17 hit?
No.
Alright, let's try again. Does 23.
24
Next 23.
with the bless. No,
24?
misses. Yeah,
Oh,
just
all right.
barely. It dodges out of the way just at the last second from your blade. You swing down your great force. Get a couple hairs.
Ugh. Harry. One more time. 18.
It almost chuckles as it looks at you.
I'll end my turn.
Freya.
So I will cast on the I will step over next to Rukhari and I will cast on to him shield at
Behind him or
height
next to him?
3. Behind him. I will cast it at height 3, which gives him a shield with a hardness of 10. And for my final spell, I will again touch and cast guidance on Aerel.
Perfect. Alright, the creature again, it just looks so hungry as it looks at the 5 of you. It's already spilt blood from Rukhari, but Aerel had stepped up, swinging at him. It almost gets this look of like a cat playing with its food as it lunges at her, its claws swinging wide to take her as it had done to Rukhari just moments ago.
Oh, this will hurt.
But in its excitement, it actually misses. Its claw going wild as Aerel's able to dodge it. Instead, so it swings around with its giant maw to try and bite at you.
Oh, no.
Again, you've become so deft on your feet as it misses. Last time, in this complete and utter form of rage, it swings wildly, mockingly, as it misses again.
I'm so sorry to laugh. I'm so sorry.
Aerel, your laughter it had just laughed at you, so you return that laugh. And it is now Rukhari's turn.
All right. So first off, he's going to use an action point to, what's it called? The demoralize.
Perfect.
Okay, that'll be intimidation. $21.
demoralized. See its ears sort of dip down a little bit.
Okay.
Takes a step back.
Then, then he's going to go in with the katana again. 2 attacks. Natural 20 for 34.
You
Nice.
Okay. And that's a crit, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, first die,
You
D6.
confirm it, rolling a d20.
Okay. Say what?
Go ahead.
So that's 10 points off the bat, plus 2 is 12, plus a d8 because of the vicious quality. That's 20. Oh, yeah, and double the dice. I'm dumb. 20 plus 25. And with the critical effect, it is flat-footed.
Perfect.
And then second attack. Shabuski. 25.
It hits. Just barely,
Okay.
just sort of that moment of hesitation it had from your demoralized.
Okay. No. 5 plus 2, 7 points of slashing damage.
Right. You see it sway on its feet. You guys are stronger than it thought. It's weaker now, you could see, but seems like it's going to become more desperate. Is that all your moves?
Yep.
Okay, Altair.
Okay. So we still get flanking bonus, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'm gonna hit it and try to do let's see. How wounded does it look?
It's hard to tell under its matted fur, but you can see the desperation rising. It seems weak.
Okay. I'm gonna try to do the confident finisher. The hit.
A miss.
You been flanking?
Oh, with flanking +1. No, you hit.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Cool. No problem. So
Keep me in line.
And then I get my D6s. Also, I feel really terrible because I forgot that you only get the added D6s when you're using the finisher and not just regular attacks. Then it's just a +2 or something like that. So I am very sorry. And please subtract because I feel really bad. But anyway, I'm doing this now. 2 and 3. Okay. And then I will also attempt an intimidate to recover finish. Because I want to demoralize the fuck out of this dude who is hurting my friends. For my final action. If that's okay.
Yes, go. see here. Because it is already demoralized. No. It actually saves against it.
Oh, okay. Alright, that's my turn.
Perfect. Pekka.
Pekka is going to try something new and ask the fiend to roll a DC 21 will save.
Let me show that. Ooh, let's see. I don't know how to show what it is. It rolled a 28
Okay,
display.
so it'll take this halved.
Oh,
So 15,
Oh my.
21, 10 of 10 mental damage as Pekka casts Agonizing Despair at it. But it shrugs it off pretty much.
no, you actually hear it let out this blood-curdling scream. Sort of rises the hackles on the back of your neck as it falls to its knees. Still up, still glaring at you. But you can see it fading. Is that all your move actions?
That is all that he has ready to do, yes.
Perfect. Aerel, go ahead.
I see it goes down on his knees. Like, all right, let's try this again with my greatsword. That's a 31
You
hit.
hit.
Oh, all right. $14. I just.
Yeah.
Do I want to go again? That's the question.
Go again.
All right.
You feel like it should be down, but it's still
Darn it.
glaring at you. That low rumble of a roar in its chest.
Nope. That 9 doesn't work. 9, 10. No, that doesn't work. Try it one more time. That 10 does not work. Okay, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Your
Yeah, that's all she's
sword
gonna do
slips
today.
out of your hands. A rock at your feet that you hadn't noticed as you were going for it again clatters to the ground. You will need to use a move action to pick your weapon back up next turn. Freya.
So I will see that she dropped her weapon. I will actually cast a somewhat aggressive spell against the creature. I will cast Phantom Pain. It heightened 2 against it. It is a will save.
What is the DC for that?
Let me look at my PC, sorry.
You're fine. Here.
I believe it should be a 23. 22 or 23, I can look up quickly. 23 at this level.
hits.
Okay. So
He
it
fails.
deals. I'm sorry?
Yeah, he failed. Sorry.
Okay. So that would deal 4d4. So it would deal.
Just the 6?
It would
Sure.
deal 15. It would deal 16 damage.
Good lord.
And it was a normal failure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yep. It would just deal normal, and then it is sickened 1.
Perfect. You see it swaying. The blood that was pouring out of its mouth, probably from its victims, is now its own. As it sways, struggling to get to its feet. But that desperation is still there. It wants to take one of you down. And all it sees is the one that just casts that pain on him. As it will actually leap over Rukhari and Aerel with the last of its strength, landing on top of Freya, pinning her to the ground. Rukhari, Aerel, you both will get attacks of opportunity if you have that feat, correct?
I should get one
It's
too,
not a
right?
single. Yes, as it leaves you.
Yeah.
If you guys have taken the attack of opportunity feat.
Yes, I got it.
I think
Okay.
attack of opportunity. I think I did. I don't remember.
It
Go
should
for it.
be if you look at abilities on your feats list.
Right.
It should be there.
Let's see. Attack of opportunity. Uh-oh.
Attack of what
Oh.
now?
Uh-oh.
Miss Salter.
Okay.
Brittany,
You weren't expecting it to
Aerel
leap
doesn't
quite
have
so
that.
fast.
She has. She does. Oh, she does have attack of opportunity. Good God.
Yeah, I would think you'd have it because you're playing a fighter, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I have attack of opportunity.
Okay.
Oops.
I missed.
It's just a slick.
These rolls tonight, man.
I know.
I love it.
You monster.
It's great. Rukhari, do you have attack of opportunity?
Sadly,
You
no.
did?
No.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yes. So it leaps over the two of you, dodging your swords in that sort of last act of desperation. Taking its claws, its jaw going straight towards Freya's neck. It hits critically.
No!
Fully wounded as it tears, mauling into her. Oh, but it's 36 points of damage.
Oh my God.
Once more,
no.
it rears back with its jaw open wide with that guttural,
Oh my God,
desperate
oh my God.
shout.
No, please.
Another
God.
hit.
God dang it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You guys see
Definitely
this.
dying.
It had leapt over Aerel and Rukhari leaving your space. You guys hadn't expected it to move so fast, and then right on top of Freya, and with the desperation of a creature that is starving, just wanting one last meal, completely tears and rips into her, hardly able to even utter a scream as Freya is mauled. Rukhari, you have one last turn as you are next in initiative. And you are muted.
Muted.
Still cannot hear you.
Still muted.
Still muted, bruh.
I'm done. Sorry. So yeah, this thing is chopping his friend into kibble, so he's gonna chop it into kibble, or at least try. So let's go with the katana. Uh, 23. Would I be able to use a hero point?
Yes, if you would like.
I would.
Reroll that.
Okay. How about 29?
That hits.
Okay.
Its back turns to you. It doesn't even seem to be paying you any heed.
Okay, 7 plus 2 is 9 points of slashing damage.
Describe this.
He sees his dear friend just got out of rehab and torn open. He leaps, gets up right between the shoulder blades, and just right between the blades.
Yeah, your blade sinks into that sort of soft spot back there, slicing straight through it. You had just sharpened your blade to prepare for this. It sinks straight through it like butter. And it falls to the side, landing next to Freya, who is not moving. You're out of combat.
Altair,
The war's
like,
still raging around you.
Pekka
like
is
when she saw it.
yeah. Pekka is immediately
so-
casting stabilize.
Yeah, Altair just runs for Freya, and just like in that state of like shock and horror, and like,
Aerel pretty much after she sees that, she just runs to Freya and like she starts panicking again. Like her holding mirror just turned into that peg mode. Like
Yeah.
she wants to do something, but what?
Pekka, you would cast Stabilize, but it doesn't seem to be working. The poison from this beast seeming to act as a protection against it.
Okay.
Freya, you're able to manage out a couple words.
I kind of look around the group. I realize what has happened, obviously. I try to smile at them. And I simply tell them we will always be family.
The word family hangs in the air as Freya's eyes close. A puddle of blood growing larger around her, intermingling with that of the creature.
I imagine Altair's tears just quietly fall on Freya's closed eyes as she starts to whisper a prayer to Pharasma. Our Lady of Graves, please keep and protect her soul. Shelter her as she finds her way to the next stage of the cycle.
And again, you guys are in a war right now. You hear the clashing of weapons growing closer, shouting. It's not good to stay in one place. What do you choose to do? There's still a throne to take, still things that need to be done.
The anathema
Over here.
that this is will be remembered and repaid. But we must continue on, such that we may be instruments of that vengeance. And there's an almost... there's a deeper greyness to the normal green mottled skin of Pekka's hobgoblin face as the reality of what he sees in front of him sets in.
Aerel just
She lived for a large part of her life as a slave, and with her freedom, she befriended and loved all of us. If her sacrifice is to mean anything, what you are looking to build cannot be built on vengeance and destruction and with this poison that is welling within you. Her death cuts me more deeply than I can say, but it is her life that mattered. Do what we came here to do something because it is righteous and good, and that has not changed. We all knew what the cost could be going into this, and that also has not changed. Honor her life, honor her sacrifice. Do not make it about senseless violence. Make it about life and celebrating that.
And Rukhari kneels down and undoes the clasps of his cloak. Lays it on Freya.
Settles over her, covering what had been done. But it's time to move. thing with
It's
war,
fine,
there's no
war.
time to mourn on the battlefield. So you guys move forward. Do you all go?
Before Aerel
Yep.
goes, she looks at her mom, that she knew for a short while, and she gives her a little kiss on her brow. Gets up, picks up a great sword, and she just start walking. That's all she does.
Is there a, like, are there any other soldiers around us, or is it just, like, us?
There have been soldiers from your own battalion fighting back any of the hobgoblins that have come forward to give you guys this moment. But they're
Can
not able
I-
to speak.
Is there one, like, who looks, like, tired or something that I can be like, hey, can you take her back to, you know, the, return the fallen back to our camp? Because, like, that's usually a thing, right? That you have, like, medics and soldiers and stuff like that who are runners back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, they all look tired. It's been hours, but one of them will agree to take her, gathering her up in his arms, cradling her body. And with a nod, he will run off. So that last glimpse of your life. But as Rukhari says, that there is a war to fight.
Yeah,
he he also adds, "Let's find the warlord and make him shit his own teeth."
I feel like as Altair watches her wife's body carried away, like, again, the tears continue to stream down her face until it's he's just out of sight, at which point she turns around and, you know, is back to just that serious mask. Lead away.
Kari, so you're leading the battalion up closer and closer to the castle, to the estate of the warlord, fighting your way through, probably with more desperation and fury after what had happened, giving no quarter, and you stand in your guys' way. They just fall by the wayside. You notice a group of goblins off down an alleyway, probably taking a respite from the battle break. What do you do?
Just for clarification, like, what side are they on?
They wear the armor of the warlord. There isn't very many hobgoblins on the rebellion side.
Fair.
Remember, it actually has been difficult to convince some people to fight with Pekka, but Pekka's very persuasive and has proved himself again and again that he is a capable warrior fighting for what he believes is right. But this group of hobgoblins seem to be bent over something. It's sort of this strange thing in the middle of a battle to hear laughter like this. Gives you a moment of pause. But the castle is just a couple more blocks away. So it just depends. Are you angry enough to just go attack something that is a mockery right now, or are you continuing on?
Rukhari is like, you see him, like, even through his feathers, you can see he's got a white knuckle grip on his sword. And there's a good long pause where you're not sure if he's gonna kill all of these guys in a brutal fashion. He looks at the castle. There will be
You
time
hear
for
them
that
jeering.
later.
Just as you turn your back to go back to the castle, their voices sort of echoing out of that alleyway, and then they're a high-pitched voice. We killed them, we killed them. They're just excited about this fight. Go ahead. Singing a strange song.
As he's walking, he straightens himself out and just goes, "The Emperor's eyes are upon you."
One of them turns to look at you. His face covered in blood. It seems like he had probably dragged his hand across it in some enemy's blood to make this sort of war paint. The Emperor, he'll win this war. Who are you? This more fodder for us. We'll kill you too.
No, you won't. You can try. I will break you in half if you cause me to delay any further. I've lost one of my dear friends today. Should you stand in my path, I will visit upon you pain 10,000-fold what she suffered.
You hear a snickering sound as they step back a little bit further into the shadows away from you. And then out of some doorways, 6 figures dressed head to toe in armor come rushing at you, just sprinting out of the alleyway, dead set on you. You're in initiative. Keep going forward. But they are just sprinting at you. Weapons sort of held awkwardly, head to toe in armor, which Pekka will realize is a little bit different for a hobgoblin. Don't usually dress like this, but this could just be another creature.
Do you want us to re-roll initiative?
Go ahead. If you'd like
Okay.
to re-roll initiative, if you are going to attack these things that are sprinting at you.
Ricard's gonna refrain.
Nice.
But why though?
He has a gut feeling.
Moment.
This is fine.
Sorry. Let me put these on there for you. Pekka, you are up first. As these figures, again, are growing closer, they are just sprinting silently. There is no battle cry, just at you. Rukhari, do you say anything or do you let Pekka go?
Let Pekka go. Let him do his thing.
I imagine that Pekka is so early merely because, much like Rukhari, he's been priming himself and trying to steer himself to say, no, we've got the mission, but he really wants to hit something. So he's just going to lash out with his spiritual whip at one of the 6 as they come rushing in. Which will... $16? It.
Yes. One moment. Go ahead and describe this attack real quick.
It's... Pekka reaches up and pulls back from his book yet another loose leaf page that he goes to flick forward, and out from his arm comes a black, sinuous, almost snake-like whip with a fanged end that snaps forward at one of the approaching creatures and tries to essentially sink its teeth into them.
16 misses,
Okay.
glancing off of their armor.
That makes sense, and that's going to be as much as he can do this round.
Perfect.
Yeah.
One moment. So I get a little sauce out here. Sorry, guys. Rukhari, what about you? It is now your turn.
Okay. He's not necessarily demoralize these folks, but he'll try to use kind of an intimidating presence, hold his talons up. If you value your lives, stand down.
Are you rolling a demoralize or just trying to see if this sways them at all?
I'm going to see if it sways them.
Continue running. We're getting closer.
Maybe a diplomacy check?
Go ahead and roll diplomacy. Or intimidate.
Okay. We'll go with intimidate. I actually haven't seen that. 20. Dirty 20.
And there is a feat for a group diplomacy, or are you just one of them?
Well, probably for Crunch's sake, the closest, the one he can most clearly see.
doesn't seem to affect them as they continue to draw closer. That awkward weapon sort of held at their side, just full on sprinting at you.
Okay. In that case, he'll use an action point to draw his weapon and another point to rage, just in case.
Perfect. So raging and weapon pulled now.
Yep.
All right. It is now one of their turns. It looks like one of them is going in to stab you, Rukhari, as you were the closest to them.
Fair enough.
You did have one more move, correct? Or were you withholding that?
As a withholding, he really doesn't have good ranged options.
At this point, they are right upon you. But you have been a swordsman for some time. The way they are holding this weapon does not... It's not a style that you recognize.
As in, just like a foreign style, or does it look like they're not necessarily trained in these weapons?
Give me a knowledge war.
That I can do.
There's some-
I do have lore warfare. It's not amazing, but it's something. Okay. 19.
Perfect. And luckily you are still blessed from Pekka. So you just made it.
All right.
They look like they don't know how to use these weapons. Maybe untrained, maybe just sort of given whatever was in the armory. But you
They
can tell
threw
that
you.
this is... Go ahead.
No. Finish.
You can tell that this isn't a style. This isn't a style choice that they are doing. It just seems simply as an experience.
All right. Just like before things continue, he just goes, green troops.
Yeah.
And they threw you into
Seems
the...
like it.
Oh, like he's saying, like, out loud. Green troops, and they threw you into this melee? Uncaring.
Let's see here. Aerel, it is your turn. You guys sort of held back, so they have to come to you. So go ahead.
I just look at them, take a deep breath, like, really? And I just pull out the bastard sword, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna cut you down, just to see if you just go away. 24. 25, if the thing still holds or not.
Is the first one in front of you?
Yeah, the first one in front of me, I'm just like, yeet. Just a lazy yeet.
A 25 hits.
Okay, well. 11 points of damage. With that lazy yeet.
That lazy weapon seems to have injured them more than you thought. But no scream or shout or even grunt of pain is issued forth as their blood sprays across the ground in front of you.
I'm gonna do it again.
Action.
No, that's my big sword. Put that down. No. Do not. No, put that. Go away. Let's try my bastard sword again. I'm just 19, 20. I'm just literally the second one comes. I'm just keep lazily doing it because I'm just like I'm tired. I'll get up to this castle.
Yeah, it's just a sort of simple flick of your wrist. You weren't even expecting it to hit, but it does.
Four points, unfortunately.
They stagger, bleeding profusely. Still
Alright,
moving forward, though.
do it again. 11.
This one actually misses, not by Rukhari will notice any dodging effort on their part, just stumbling out of the way from blood loss, it would seem.
Huh.
Altair, go ahead.
That's my turn.
So I feel like she would sort of stand and her presence would shift to that Blade Master, and she would look at the four in front of her and be like, do you value your lives so cheaply that you would give them to us so freely? And I'm going to attempt a group demoralize. Yeah. Ah, that sucked.
Ooh.
There's a waver in their step. Small, but they continue to press forward. If only you could see their faces, you're not quite sure what is going on in there.
I kind of want to try it again. Can I? Or is it, or are they immune after? I forget.
I believe after a fail, they are immune for a time. Let me double check that. Ashely, do you know that one? If it's a failed demoralize?
For that round.
For that round, gotcha.
Cool. Okay. So then I guess I will attack the one that did Aerel finish hers off?
No, it is basically bleeding out, you can tell. But her sword stance was lazy. It didn't seem like anything to take these things down.
Yeah, I kind of feel. So, can I try diplomacy? Because, like, I kind of feel like Altair's just like, I don't want to fight against babies. um,
Go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. I only have. I guess she directed at whoever's leading them, or seems to be.
It just sort of
Ugh.
seems like this mad dash.
Yeah. It's garbage. But at least it's a better roll. But yeah, she'd just be like, you are young and untested, and you deserve better than dying alone and nameless in a war that will forget you. Fight by our side instead of against us. Because obviously, we have more care for your well-being than the ones that you call master. And I will hold my last action to defend Rukhari if anything attacks him.
Perfect. It is back top of the order. Pekka, your turn.
Pekka has been observing the flow of the battle and is going, either very untrained or... In Pekka's opinion, is there... can there be a supposition that these are actually undead and that's why they're armored?
Give me a medicine check. Or a knowledge religion.
We'll go medicine, and we'll roll it for a change, just to have fun. So 28 with a bless up.
They don't seem undead. Definitely living, just in the way that Aerel had attacked one of them and the fresh flow of their blood. These are living.
Okay. In which case, he's just going to take a 0 action will save internally just to get a bit of a sense. Okay, not quite good enough, so he will just strike out again with the spiritual whip. Rolling a 22 to hit.
Hits.
For 6 points of damage.
Perfect.
And that's him out.
That's 3. Rukhari.
Yeah, that's it.
He is going to kicks and giggles. Let's see what happens here. He is going to use an action point to try to disarm one. So have one hand free. He does attempt an athletics check against the opponent's reflex DC.
Okay.
Uh, 29.
Easily.
Just
Sword goes flying out of their hand. That's not a good grip on it at all. Some bits of cloth along with it. But they are still sprinting.
What would I have to do to... So, what can I see these guys' faces are done? Do they have helmets on? Or is it just like
Helmets.
body armor? Okay. How much of their faces can we see through there?
It is a complete mask obscuring their face.
What would I have to roll to rip off one of their helmets?
That would be in athletics.
Okay. Like a grapple, maybe?
Yeah, like a grapple.
Okay. Okay.
As an aside, Sam, with my life sense, do I sense life or do I sense the counter life force that animates undead? Just to confirm, Pekka.
You sense life.
Okay.
Okay. It's 31.
Describe this. And with your grapple, that is damage as well?
Yeah, with Brutal Bully, 4 points of bludgeoning damage. He just probably just squeezes just a little bit, just to let him know, I could probably crush your head in right now. And toss it to the side.
Perfect. I'll leave that for a moment. As right next to you, it is Aerel's turn.
Well, my computer just froze, so I'm gonna just use real dice until my computer unfreezes.
You were fine.
Aerel just looks at them and she's just like, I really don't want to fight y'all right now because we have things to do, people to see. She's going to just do what Rukhari did, just tear off the mask and see what's under there for the first part of her thing.
Go ahead, that's an athletics check.
Okay, athletics. I have that somewhere in there. Just my computer type, please. We're going to use real dice tonight. So I can find me a D20. There you go. You say acrobatics, right?
Athletics.
Okay. That'll be a 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, 26.
Yes, easily comes off. And you do not have the bludgeoning ability, correct?
No, I don't. Bludgeoning. No, I can tell you right now, I don't.
The bully.
Oh, the bully! Nope.
Except you did critically succeed, so that is still 1d6 bludgeoning damage, correct?
If it's 1d6, then yeah.
There should be an option to declare it non-lethal, though, if that's what you're going for.
Yeah. Are you doing lethal
Yeah,
or
I wanted
non-lethal?
Non-lethal, because I'm like, they ain't doing anything, so. Alright. Non-lethal, so that's just 5. I think. Yeah. 5 plus something. It's 5. Oh, wait, please excuse me. I'm gonna figure out my computer.
You're fine.
It's frozen. I'll be back.
Altair.
1 minute.
It is your turn.
Is that what happened?
Alright, so this is a new round. I want to try the group
No, you're
coercion
the
again.
last one in this round. Yeah. But yeah, this is a new round, sorry.
Yeah, for the intensive purposes of using my skill.
Perfect.
And no one attacked Rukhari for my held action, right?
No.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I will.
Oh wait, hold on. I missed one of their turns.
Oh, okay.
Let me roll that real quick. So but they are. It is the one next to Rukhari. So if they attack, what happens?
She would try to disarm it.
Perfect. Do I roll it against the attack against Rukhari? Is a miss. So does that give you a chance to parry it?
You tell me, Storyteller.
Yes. So you see, as this person is absolutely sprinting, going by, its sword held up, and again, this awkward way, it just sort of flings its arm towards Rukhari. You are able to dash forward to parry this if you would like, and take an attack of opportunity.
Okay, so do you want me to just roll a regular attack roll?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you were just deflecting.
I want to disarm.
Perfect. Then yes, just roll an attack roll.
Ugh, these rolls. Jesus.
It does not disarm them.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna try my group coercion again.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's just like... You've seen the difference in skill and know it to be true. Just fucking leave with your lives already.
None of them run away. They are still running towards you.
Ugh, so annoying.
It
Okay.
is, isn't it?
I'm gonna try then to disarm the dude that's next to Rukhari then.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a hit.
Oh. Yeah, so I imagine she basically does this and then shunks his wrist with the pommel of her sword. So the weapon goes flying out of his hands.
Perfect. Is that any... Just hear a cracking sound. Their wrists sort of breaking under that pressure. The sword again, yes, goes flying. Back to the top with Pekka, but Rukhari, I will give you a chance to say something.
They're gagged! He draws attention to the one he just tore the helmet off of, and sure enough, according to the storyteller, got a gag in front of his mouth.
The one whose helmet you tore off is limp. With fear, is a frail person, an older person. Again, just a gag tied around their mouth. None of them had screamed or cried out when hit at all. I will let you guys have the choice if you wish to continue to attack. Or Rukhari, are you going to try and stop them?
Hold. Disarm them, but don't kill them. I don't think this is they actually want, he'll try to, with one of his talons, like hook the gag and pull it off.
The one in your arms, his head just sort of slumps forward. He's gone limp. May have pulled his mask off, squeezed a little bit too hard for him.
Careful.
But the other ones...
They were meant.
Go ahead, Alter.
If they were meant to be a trap from our enemy, it is possible that they are further trapped to some sort of disaster should we reveal the initial ruse.
Yes. I believe Brittany is gone right now. Hold on.
Like if we were to remove more gags from these guys, are they able to talk?
You notice that they just sort of give this groaning sound. And as you look further, one of their tongues is cut off, but another one is able to talk. He's scared, frantic, eyes darting over to Pekka, back behind them, sort of mindless with fear. We're just trying to get out. They just told us to run. Just told us to run, told us to run.
We won't hurt you.
Your fortune is your own to make. Be
They
grateful.
cower at
The
Pekka's
Emperor
voice.
is kind today. Your previous orders persist. And Pekka takes a step off to the side, sort of making a slight opening, and goes, "Run!" Trying to do his best sort of grey dragon impression, which isn't that good, but
It is enough to scare them. They were just trying to run past you guys. I'd say the one that Aerel had attacked has fallen to the ground. Bloody puddle, as well as the one his mask Rukhari had taken off, just down. But the other ones just sprint past, going down the street in sort of a panicked sprint, hopefully that they can get out. Go ahead, though. How do you want this? Sent civilians at you. Dressed them up in armor, put a weapon in their hand, and told them to run.
This warlord is going to die screaming. It's a selfish desire, but I think after this, he's deserved it.
apologies for falling for that distraction.
If they were attacking us, there was little else we could do. Hopefully we can make a country where that doesn't happen.
Our enemy is as cunning as they are deceitful.
Agreed. To the manor, then. Let's end this.
Various skirmishes, but again, nothing that you can't handle. Minor wounds, but sort of the fury of that injustice fueling you as you go. But as you get to the manor, a crowd has already formed. Someone standing at the top of the steps. A throne thrown into the center of this plaza clatters. And you just hear a humming as a blade slices through who you recognize as Warlord Kavanaki's legs, severing them at the knees. Rukhari, you push your way to the front of this crowd to see, and the Warlord is thrown at your feet by none other than Salix. Arms chopped off, legs chopped off, with just the simple phrase, "Do with him what you will. I'm going home." The
May
Warlord
find
looks up at
peaceful
you,
skies.
eyes begging for mercy. As he tries to crawl his way back towards the estate, back towards the castle, the manor.
Rukhari's going to step on his throat. Just not enough to snap anything, just keeping him in place.
Oh, he's not going anywhere. There's a crowd around you. The people of this city, slaves that you've freed, hobgoblins that have realized that they have lost the war. In the battalion, seems like the army was just left as an airship shadow sort of goes over you. But yeah, this warlord is not going anywhere. He's completely at your mercy.
He looks at him. There are far too many horrible things I would like to inflict upon you right now. This battle has killed a dear friend of mine. It has killed the innocent, the old, the infirm. I did promise you would die screaming. But I did promise this. It is not my day. Gaze over the crowd of gathered slaves. What say you, the people of Cowling? What justice would you have of this warlord?
A unified voice erupts forward, and you can clearly make out the word death. Death to the tyrant.
He will unsheath the sword. May this be the last. Right in the chest.
He squirms for a moment, Not exactly the quickest spot to kill someone, as his life force just stains the ground. But over to Pekka. What are you doing right now as you watch this, as you watch Rukhari finish off this warlord?
Barely a millisecond behind Rukhari's sword entering the chest of the about to be former warlord, Pekka is going down on one knee in a deep bow to Rukhari. And then he looks up, making sure that he catches both of Rukhari's eyes. And in a low whisper, just say, "You have the power. Remember, that does not give you the right." And then he will just be silent.
I will remember that.
What about you, Altair?
I kind of feel like she just watches everything very dispassionately. You know, it doesn't seem like a surprise or anything like that, but like, you know, there's at this point with everything coming to a close, you know, the weight of like the sort of battle adrenaline has starts to fade, and like the weight of the grief comes back, and so, you know, she doesn't take any joy from the end of the battle, but does her best to manage like some sort of look of encouragement for Rukhari. You know, otherwise just mostly like staying to herself and out of the way.
Yeah. It's strange, Rukhari. You have gone from someone being relatively unknown, but it doesn't seem like the battalion, the people in the city are surprised that you are there, as they look upon you. Also, so they were expecting it, that they were finally seeing a prophecy fulfilled of sorts. And they seem to even know your name. But we're going to fast forward a little bit. Rukhari, you are in your chambers at the end, just having received the crown of cowling, a heavy burden, when out of the shadows walks a figure that you didn't think that you would see again. A sea elf. You thought she had left with the rest of them. But yeah.
It suits you, love.
It's heavier than I expected.
It always is. I meant what I said before when I said I've been watching you. Got a bit of an investment in your future. I've seen how all the things have tested you. Watched as you fought battles of not just of strength, but also compassion. Leaders gotta have both. If it's gonna mean anything. We opened the door for you, and it's your part to walk through it.
Yeah. Still doesn't feel real.
Never does. She's gonna pull from the like from one of the many random pockets on her outfit a bottle of something, some sort of liquor that looks incredibly expensive, and just sort of like tosses it over to him. He would also notice that there is like a gaping hole in her outfit, like in the center of her chest, where like as if she had gotten wounded somehow. But yet there's not really a wound that is there. I'm also gonna say, for the sake of things, that you I've saved your life a few times now.
That's
Not
true.
that you'd know, but eventually there'll be a time when we'll probably need a favor. So I'd hope that you'd be of the mind to return that favor.
I'm now getting flashbacks to small-time gangs that had some... They all had some code of honor. You always repay
Hey.
favors.
It's probably because your kin across the sea ran with my gang in Contago. River Talons, yeah?
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah, it's a bit of a code of brotherhood. Fun things to think about. Again, the choice is yours, really, but, you know, we tend to do right by our friends, if you hadn't noticed. I'll say you
It's
should
true.
drink that, but small. It's real strong.
Yeah. Pekka would probably clobber me if I just let this sit in a dusty cabinet.
It's a celebration.
But
Might be the last one you get for a little while.
that's true. I have to put into
It's a
motion
lot of
the
healing that needs-
work program.
Yeah, so you heard about that. I slipped that idea into the ear of a couple of you servant people, so I'd hoped it'd make it your way sooner or later.
Funnily enough, I've been thinking about it even before the battle. Figure a bunch of people... It'd be cruel to just send them out in the world, not a gold piece to their name. Need something to make them in the world.
Seems to me like war ends up fucking up a lot of infrastructure that needs to be rebuilt. And you got a great and grateful workforce that needs something to do. So, you know, one problem serves another, yeah?
It seems so. There is another matter, however. I'm not fool enough to pretend that those who've been defeated in this war would want to stay defeated. In your travels, or perhaps even amongst those slaves who survived the war, if you know of any who are trained in subterfuge, disguise, warfare, send them to me. I'd like to ensure that the freed slaves stay free, but I can't be everywhere at once.
I got a few I can call on, and more than that also will be looking for work in these strange and Exciting times. It's good to know they'll have some jobs.
I fear they'll be busy.
And with that, we sort of pan away. Pekka becoming Rukhari's chief advisor, helping him stay on that sort of straight and narrow path. A monument built to Freya, who'd fallen in the battle, and Aerel forever at Rukhari's side as well, having become confident in battle. But then Altair, after the battle, was nowhere to be seen. Gone. A note left in Aerel's room, the only sort of goodbye. And that is where we are going to end for tonight. The end of this campaign, the end of Thronebreakers, with Rukhari on the throne of hopefully what will be a happy and prosperous nation. I'm so excited. And feel very bad that we lost Aerel halfway through that. But her face is so cute right there, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It is so good. So, anyways, this has been our Pathfinder 2E beginner campaign. This is our finale, our last session, but do not fear. I am sure we will be seeing many of these faces again. Maybe on a Sunday game, maybe on some other shows here on Penny for a Tale. It will be a mystery, but I'm excited. So we are going to go ahead and do our outros, tell everyone where we can find you, your thoughts and your feels, and we'll try to... Endings are very hard, so it's going to be good. So let's go ahead and start with Staffan.
Well, I'm Staffan, RQ Staffan on the interwebs, who have the pleasure of being Pekka Kylemakki through these sessions. Just an absolute joy, and a massive thank you to Sam and indeed all the rest of the players for just being such a great sounding board to bounce my chaos off of. When I must admit, when I started off Pekka, I really did not have the prime advisor to the Emperor ending in sight at all. So it's been a trip. You can find me mostly hanging out and lurking in various channels, Weave the Tale over here. Also, the fourth Saturday of every month, I'm playing a Call of Cthulhu game over on Big Bird Bearded Nerd 21, so part of the Mini Terrain Domain channels. But more importantly, you can find me right here on this channel it's at least some Tuesdays during the month, running various people through a cavalcade of ostensibly Call of Cthulhu one-shots, although the last one we did took 3 sessions, so we'll see.
It was good fun still. So, and I loved Pekka as a character. His whole ideology about the top shelf liquor was absolutely amazing. And you did such a good job, Steph, and I've always enjoyed playing with you. So I'm so glad that you were here and brought such a cute and homely and vigorous character on. Ashely, I'm sorry.
Hey, that's how the dice roll, right? I'm Ashely, and I played the now deceased Freya through the campaign. I thoroughly enjoyed the game. It was great to play with these people, and I look forward to future games. We will see where this ends and how this all ties back into Age of Ashes. Hopefully some of my family here will be able to make an appearance.
It's interesting that Age of Ashes has many dealings with Pharasma and other things, so do not count yourself out yet. There have been underworld journeys, so do not worry. And I loved the relationship between Freya and Aerel and how you were just that sort of quiet, encouraging mom type figure. It was amazing. So I'm so glad that we had you on, Ashely, and I will get you on Twitter yet. So go ahead.
I
Jen.
wish you luck. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just going to make you a Twitter account.
Hi, I'm Jen. I go by Savage Sparrow on the internet. You can find me at savagesparrow.com. I will also be, I am a sponsor of the virtual HorrorCon next weekend, hosted by Gehenna Gaming, and I'll be playing in one of their D&D games on next Sunday, as well as obviously our Pathfinder game Sunday night. I played both Altair and my rogue in Age of Ashes, Vesperin. I am Sam. Thank you so much. Because basically, when we had done the Cowling downtime, my character's job in it was the political fixer and stuff. So I had told Ian that basically my character was using all of her contacts and connections to essentially fix the odds so the best person, or at least the least terrible, would take over after everything had fallen apart. Because, you know, our Salix and Augie were just like, whatever, we won the war, it's fine. And Vespa's like, but somebody's going to take over, and we need this to not be shit, because otherwise we'll have to come back, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, so like having that thing at the end was so awesome. And again, thank you so much. And like, holy shit, the punch to my feelings with Freya getting killed, like, oh my god. Yeah, so I don't know. I had a really great time.
Oh man. Yeah, I just like rolled the dice. I'm like, oh. But no, I always love playing with you, Jen. It has been such an amazing journey to see Altair go from someone who is just like all about their vices to someone that has like grown into a warrior and leader that they were always meant to be, and Aerel's mom. So it was great.
Well, it was like I was telling Ian, it was basically like Luke Skywalker going to Yoda in Empire Strikes Back to Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, of like, yeah, no, I'm a Jedi like my father before me. Like,
it's perfect. All right, Emperor, Lord, child of
his
the
worshipfulness.
Worshipfulness. Rukhari Tsukaba.
Or you.
Oi,
You got a barbarian emperor. This can only end well. So yeah, I played the now emperor, Rukhari Tsukaba, who is probably thinking, oh crap, I'm probably gonna have to get married soon, aren't I?
oh my god, we need a one-shot marriage episode.
Hopefully a bride who is smart, clever, politically astute, so they can actually like rule instead of him just consulting Pekka every 5 minutes, like he's probably going to have to do. Oh yeah, Pekka has solid employment in this administration. So this was actually my first Pathfinder game, and I had a great time. I'm usually used to D&D 5e. This was a great change up. I really like the system, just the different ways you can customize your character, the way you can play them. I mean, just like with the Barbarian, it was only after I'd gotten a few levels that I realized, oh, I can just push people around and like control the battlefield. It was great fun. Definitely did not expect the whole Emperor thing, but that was an interesting development to say the least. And other than this was pretty much my only streamed game, but I'm sending out feelers. Any other streamed games. But other than that, you can find me on Twitter, usually musing about whatever's floating on top of my head, and obviously on the various Discord channels and such.
Perfect. It was my favorite. Rukhari, the beaten bird, coming into the Lantern Festival to now Rukhari, Emperor of Kaling. I was so excited to reveal that. Brittany is having technical issues right now, but you can find her on Twitter at Brittany B. Writes. She writes amazing things, laments about college, and you can find her as well on the various Discords. And Aerel has been the absolutely best cinnamon roll character ever that we could have. And I am so excited to have played with her. I am Sam. I've been the storyteller. You can find me as Scribbling Penny. I have really sad that this game is ending, but do not fear. I will be running the Mora campaign on Weave the Tale starting on Thursdays, so you can still catch me there. And I'm in Sunday's Age of Ashes campaign, which will not be airing this Sunday. Go enjoy your Valentine's Day. Go eat chocolate. Buy chocolate on Monday when it is on sale. Make sure you do that. Life pro tip. Other than that, our music has been by Michael Gelfi. Links to them will be in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed this game. Please consider following and subscribing to our channel. And make sure you check out our Patreon at patreon.pennyforatale, something like that. You'll be able to find it. I am bad at this. But other than that, let's go ahead and get to bed. Have a great night, everyone. Stop streaming.